It's not often that something as small as an emote in the game of League of Legends can set the entire world on fire, but alas, here we are. In case you've never seen this before, this is the Akali Too Small emote, which will no longer be in the game of League of Legends, even though it was supposed to be. You see, going back a week's time, Riot Games announced that every individual team, a part of the major regions of LoL Esports, would get their own emote, notably including CB LoL as well, but no PCS. It was one of the changes that was promised a few months ago, where teams would finally start getting in-game ways to make money, because clearly everything else in esports is not working at the moment. Apparently people aren't buying enough shirts. And this is like one of the only other things that Riot's ever done for monetization of LoL esports. But say I'm a 100 Thieves fan, for example, what have I been able to buy from all of 2023 directly from Riot or in-game that would contribute to the team itself, that they would get a cut of? And the answer, nothing. They didn't make Worlds last year, so I couldn't buy a Worlds icon or emote. And beyond that, no, there's never been anything unless you win Worlds itself and get a skin, or if you're Faker and you're so good that you get your own $500 skin. Beyond that, no, they took away pretty much everything back in 2018, 2019 when we used to get team passes, but even that was the only thing that we really got. So with the changes to LoL Esports coming next year and the change to the revenue model, they said, okay, we got to get more in-game items. So giving every single team a chance to have their own emote was a good first step. And some teams went, I don't know, easy with it. They didn't really do anything all that interesting, but the one that caught fire immediately, even in Cadrill's eyes, was 100 Thieves. Because we all know what this emote means, separate from it being called too close. Sure, you can say it's too close, but it really means you got a small which, for guys, pretty good insult. Not gonna lie. Big dick energy has been a thing for a while, and you know, this small dick energy's But it's an emote, right? Doesn't really mean all that much. You can mute emotes in game. Really shouldn't be that big of a controversy, right? Nope. This thing took off. It became insanely popular. I've made like 3 videos on it on TikTok, all of which have surpassed 50,000 views a piece, which is wildly high even for my channel. Cadrill's video popped off on it. It was the front page of Reddit for quite a while. And it brought on discussions that some people might have a problem with this. Specifically South Korea, where there's a long history of this being used against men, and people got really pissed off by it, and it became this like really cultural thing. You want to know the politics of it, go follow Arsh. He'll be able to tell you. Quite frankly, I don't really give a shit. Because ultimately, it's an emote that you can mute in-game, and if it's really that big of a problem in Korea, in theory, you just not put it in Korea. You can just put it everywhere else. It's a North American emote made for North American fans. So in theory, like, I don't care what Korea does. It could get banned over there. That's fine. It's for my team in North America and as part of our culture, which is different than theirs. Our shit talking, drastically different level than what Korea is on. Same thing for Europe. To the surprise of nobody, Riot Games gave in and decided to change the emote. And yeah, it's not the same. In any way, shape, or form, it is not the same. This emote is now no longer going to sell. All the videos that I made following up on this emote pretty much showed that, as people were like, yeah, no, I'm not buying this anymore. It doesn't serve the purpose that I was originally looking to buy it for. And while there was a subsection of people that were like, good, this was a toxic emote, we don't need it in game, the overwhelming majority of the community were really let down by this. Now, after it was announced that 100 Thieves would have to change the emote, the thing is that the organization and players did not let it go. People were very vocal on social media after it got changed. 100 Thieves staff speaking out on it, but it got even better because Sniper made it a point to show it on broadcast. The whole team even doing the emote after the series was done. And I'm happy that they're not letting it go, because it really feels like just a kick to the knee for no freaking reason whatsoever. But the question became for people is like, why are you so upset over just a little emote? It's a small thing, it changes, it is what it is. Because this thing cost 100 Thieves money. We just mentioned how they had no way to monetize in-game. And 100 Thieves is one of the better organizations in terms of apparel and trying to sell things elsewhere. Their sponsorships are pretty good. But when it came to an in-game item, this is a brilliant move by the marketing team that, based on the people that were enjoying this, and considering they got 30% of the sales of that individual emote, they were going to make a good bit off of this. Easily 5 figures, possibly 6. I know I've said $1 million on social media, a little bit of hyperbole. In theory, I think the math works out. You have to sell well over like 1 million emotes, and with it being banned in Korea, it wouldn't have made that anyways. But regardless, it still would have been a good 5, if not 6-figure paycheck. But that's gone. Riot stripped away a paycheck for one of the teams after years of not being able to make money in the game for the teams, and now the one time that they are actually going to make money, you pull it away. How can people trust Riot then? And this is honestly emblematic of a bigger problem that ties into news that also came out this week. You see, Riot Games has restructured esports within the company itself. To my understanding, esports used to be kind of like its own standalone thing. The global head of LoL Esports, John Needham, would just report directly upwards to C-suite. But like esports was its own standalone thing. But now John Needham has gotten a promotion. Again, he is going to be the president of a new department called Publishing and Esports, which puts esports in with live action and animation products being distributed to consumers. So basically, it's Riot streaming. That's what this is. Or Riot Entertainment. I gotta be careful with what I say here because I do work for Disney streaming, specifically the Disney entertainment side of things. So like, I gotta mince my words and be very careful with this. But this is problematic for a few reasons in my mind. While it establishes that clearly esports is a marketing vessel for Riot Games and takes us away from the silo that was esports needs to be a sport and be its own sustainable thing. In theory, now if it's a marketing product for Riot, which it's always been, and they've always treated it that way, then you can be a little bit more lenient with budget. You don't have to worry about hitting profitability as bad because it's a marketing exercise. You're not doing this to be break even. You're doing this to make money on skins and elsewhere, which aligns with the fact that they want to do more digital goods. So sure, good in that theory. But the problem is, when you look at these three, esports, Arcane, which has already proven itself to be a mammoth of a project, and now live action as well, which I know a lot of people were a little bit iffy on whether live action will actually work for Riot Games, to which I would say we didn't think an animated series would work all that well. I will put faith in Riot until proven wrong on that front. Live action has been getting better, especially Last of Us proved it pretty well that you can do video games in a live action setting quite well. The Witcher also proving that as well. But it's a little bit different with League of Legends when you're dealing with like abilities, magic, and it gets a little bit interesting. You could maybe do Demacia live action, but like I wouldn't want to see a full Vestayan series live action. That'd be a little bit freaky. And I don't know if they have the capacity to like pull it off right. But for esports, when you look at these three, we are definitely the cousin that's going to be like ignored, right? Like there's no way you have enough time and resources as John Needham to equally put attention into all three of these different departments, even if you were just overseeing the decision making for them, not the individual day-to-day, which is handled by the different departments. There's no way you're going to be able to give every one of these three the same amount of love and attention. You're only one person. You are only one department. And it just, I can't, honestly, honest to God, I cannot believe that John Needham is going to be the guy that is going to be overseeing this and continues to get promoted for all this. I hate to keep sounding like a hit piece when it comes to him. I really do. But the more and more I learn about the history of business behind LoL Esports, for example, one of the reasons why we never had media rights deals, one of the reasons why the LCS Twitch channel was never able to have subscriptions turned on, which it just turned on this past weekend, but they also announced Cadril as a co-streamer, so the main stream only had like 20,000 people watching, so congrats, you're gonna get maybe 2% of those people to subscribe. So you're not making any money there. You could have done it when we had 200,000 people watching on the Twitch channel, but it wasn't done because the Riot Esports Network, or their own streaming platform that they were trying to develop from 2016 all the way up until last year, was the reason why they blocked every monetization effort that came into LoL Esports, including the emotes, the skins, the media rights. Everything was all blocked under the assumption that the Riot Esports Network would ultimately be the thing that drives us into profitability. But it got canceled and didn't happen. You want to know who was leading that product? John Needham. How the hell do you fail on that big of a scale and continue to climb? All of the changes that have happened over the last year for the LCS and positive things coming, while some obviously aren't related, a good bit, almost a majority when it comes to monetization and making money, are a direct result of the Riot Esports Network failed project. That man is now overseeing everything when it comes to Riot Entertainment, and that terrifies me. So it's more than just an emote. It is a sign that Riot Games, even when they start to do something right, will pull the rug out from underneath you if you're a team and you try and just be a little bit edgy and get on the good side of the community. So how can you end up trusting them? That becomes the problem. Now, I doubt the decision for 100 Thieves to stay in the LCS was made as a result of this particular thing. But if the discussions were ongoing and I saw Riot Games did this to me, yeah, I probably wouldn't have faith either. Now, please don't leave the LCS 100 Thieves. I really want to see you around, but like I understand you being pretty pissed off at this. Same for the community.